Hi, welcome back to the Gapster channel. I'm Gabby.
And I'm Nadia.
I've got a surprise for you at the end of this video, so stick around for a while. When considering an electric bike, you're faced with a big dilemma and different types of bikes. You have fat tire bikes, commuter bikes, performance bike, and each bike has some pros and cons. And sometimes the line is not that clear. Your needs may be a little bit of everything. Like myself, I like a bike that can do quite a bit of commuting, but I also like to be able to do some trails, sometimes a little bit more adventurous trails. And it's hard to find a bike that can do it all. And the lines, like I said, could be blurry. So there's different pros and cons for each bike. For example, a very light bike may not be able to carry a big pack of batteries and go for a very long distance. And a performance bike, because it needs all these big tires and a big motor, it becomes a little bit heavy. So there's quite a few decisions to make.
I'm sure there are some pros and cons you may know already, but we're going to dive deeper into the subject. And more specifically, we're going to talk about the Envo Bike Company. We're going to be talking about some things that not a lot of people are talking about to ensure that you do not fall into a bad purchase.
When you buy a bike from a local company, you get to go and try it and see if this is something that you are going to like. Because sometimes if you just pick a bike from here or there online and then it shows up, it may not be exactly what you think it is, and often you'll be surprised.
Now let's shift our focus to Envo Bikes, a fantastic local company that has been gaining popularity in recent years.
Envo is a large Canadian company. They carry various products like quads, various trikes, different snowmobiles and snow bikes, a scooter, and various bikes like the D35, the Stacks, the ST50, the step-through variation, and the subject of today's review, the D50.
The Envo D50 is a great all-terrain bike that you can use for your everyday commute. It's a great alternative to driving, and having all the accessories that come with the bike allow for a seamless experience enhancing your everyday routine. This bike works as a great commuter bike that is highly efficient on paved roads as well as gravel roads and trails. It is built to handle various weather conditions, making your ride safe and enjoyable.
The D50 comes with a 750 watt geared hub motor that you can actually tame down to 500 via software to keep it legal if you need to. The battery is built into the frame and is removable. It is a very large battery, 15 amp hours, 720 watt hours, capable of driving the bike for quite a long time. The bike and the battery carry a UL certificate 2271 and 2849 for your safety. The battery can be locked with a key. And also can run the bike for over 100 kilometer range. And if for some reason you're going on a super long trip and you need an additional range, another battery could be mounted on the outer part. The seat is soft and comfortable, and the grips on the handlebars are really comfortable and really soft as well. The handlebars are adjustables to any height you prefer. The bike has great front shocks that you can actually lock if you like, and you can adjust the levels of shock that you like. The 50 series come with 180mm Tektron disc brakes and a 9-speed Shimano drivetrain. Roughly 27.5 inch by 2 inch wide all-terrain tires that you can actually, if you feel like you want to upgrade in the future, you can, because the fork can accommodate some really wide tires. Up to a 3 inch wide fat tire can be mounted. It comes with built-in light system, so you got front lights, and the back tail lights are actually activated via the brake system, which makes them a really great safety feature. The rack on the back can accommodate a nice pannier that's easy detachable, and installing it back is just a breeze and quick. The display is probably one of the best I've seen. It's a beautiful OLED screen with great functionality. There is a great free app that you can download that will give you quite a bit of functionality. This is not just a simple app. You can do some navigation on it and also give you all the stats of your ride. You can upgrade to the heavy-duty cargo rack if your intentions are to carry some heavy loads or an extra passenger. All in all, the Envo bike is a beautiful bike that's nicely polished, well put together with great build quality.
We took the bike out on a moderate trail and I had so much fun, honestly. One thing I really enjoyed about this bike is having it on the lowest setting, and it still feels like you're powering the bike yourself, but you also have that throttle, so that'll just give you an extra boost to get up to the top of the hill. Another thing I really liked about this bike is how it handled all the roots and bumps. The shocks easily absorbed all of those, and it just made riding the bike really smooth and enjoyable.
When you buy a bike online, you don't know where it's been made, where it's coming from, and we don't know how safe it is. With the Envo company, their bikes are UL certified, and it's a Canadian company, so you know where they are, you know their phone number, you know that their bikes are safe. And with the Envo D50, it comes with all the little accessories. So you get things like the fenders, the rack, you can get a little pannier for it. It comes with all the lights, the little bell. So these are things you don't have to go stores and try to pay more money for them, and hopefully they're going to fit your bike, because often you get accessories that are universal, but to be honest, often they don't fit most of bikes. So in this bike you get all these things built in and ready to go.
The Envo D50 is an awesome all-terrain bike. I was very impressed with how it performed on the trails, and if that's something that you enjoy as well, the fork is wide, so it will accommodate a larger tire. So if you decide to change the tires down the road, that is something you could totally do, and I think you will have a lot of fun.
When you buy a bike from a giant online store, some assembly will be required for sure. It's just going to come in one big box with possibly unclear instructions on how to put it together. You gotta watch for quality concerns. Some of the parts may be of questionable quality and durability. There is limited support. It's hard to find those companies. Often they don't even have a phone number listed anywhere. You won't be able to test, of course, test ride the bike, so you're basically buying it sight unseen. Most of them are unknown brands you've never heard of, and finding parts for them is very difficult. The long-term reliability is very questionable, and returns often requires you to ship it back after you disassemble it and put it back in that same box, and good luck with that. Let's take it on the road. First thing I want to do is actually put it on level 0, and just to see how the bike handles on its own without any assist whatsoever. And I'm actually on the highest gear, which is number 9, so that's the hardest basically you can push, and I'm going uphill, so it's pretty good. It actually handles really nice. It flows beautifully, just like a normal bike. Some bikes you feel like you have to work super hard to get them moving when they're on no assist at all, and this one seems to flow nicely just like a normal bike, which is good. Temperature here is minus 2 degrees Celsius, so we have freezing road conditions, and I guess that's a good way to test this bike and see. You can see the snow here on the side of the road still, and the icy road, so let's take it easy. And we're gonna check it out on the hill. I'm still on level 1. This is a super steep hill, so we're just gonna give it a little bit more. And what's nice is if you feel like this is not going enough, you pretty much just press the throttle a little bit, and you can just give you some assist, and that keeps you going. And if you don't want to paddle, let's say you're injured, you can actually still, without paddling, without doing anything, it still keeps going. We're going to give it a little more power and keep it going faster. This is probably as steep as you're going to find the hill. I picked this hill specifically because it's so steep. Just to see how how well the motor can handle such a steep hill. Next thing I'm going to do here is just to see how fast and the acceleration is on this bike. So I'm going to be going from 0 and see how fast it's going to take, how long it's going to take to get to 45 kilometers, which is the maximum speed at level 3. So let's give that a try. Around 11 seconds considering the delayed start. This bike can handle light and moderate trails, and that's all I need for myself. If you want to go on super more advanced trails and really steep terrain and rough terrain, you could, if you want, swap the tires with some 3-inch fat tires, and that will definitely give you a lot more grip. And the motor on this, you can disable the level 2 and enable level 3 road. That will give you the full 750 watt power of the motor, and then you can get going. So it's a very versatile bike, and that's what I like about it, is you can't say, oh, I wish I bought this other bike if I wanted, because I would like to do a little more advanced trails or this or that. So this bike can pretty much do it all, and you can modify it with small modifications if you want to. But even the way it comes, the 2-inch tires, they're nice all-terrain tires. You can do some really nice trails on them. You really don't have to. And for someone like myself, that's all I need, and that's why a bike like this suits my need, because you can do a little bit of everything on it without having to feel you're either underpowered or too heavy. So there are pros and cons to different bikes. If you buy like an ultra light bike, it's great. You can take it easily, lift it easily, but then they'll usually have very small batteries and they don't go far, and often you find limited by that. On the other hand, you buy a super heavy duty bike and more a performance bike, and it's gonna be sometimes heavy, unless you spend like a fortune. Sure, you can spend $10,000 and get a bike that's got a little bit of everything, but this is beyond the point here. The point of this video is to figure out a bike that doesn't cost a fortune and still get you most of what you need. So it's important to know the pros and cons of each bike and try to find something that suits your needs. Everybody's needs are different. If you're into super high performance bikes, then this may not be the bike for you. If you want just something for ultra light and going, you might want to check some of other Envo's bikes that are more geared for that. This is more like a bike for everything. You can do trails, commuting, and you could do a whole different type of cycling. It can go a long way, especially if you want to go like super long. You could add an additional battery and go super long. So if I want to say what I like about this bike is first thing, it's very smooth when you ride. It just glides very nicely. It's got all fairly good parts on it, and the level of finish is really nice. The motor is a very nice and generous 750 watts. The battery is fairly big, so you can go for about 100 kilometers on level 1. And if you want to go even more, like 200 kilometers, you can add a second battery as well. So this bike can do a long range if you really want to go that way. It can handle trails, it can handle normal roads, slightly icy conditions, just the way it is, without changing or adding anything to it. It comes with all the little accessories, the racks, the fenders, a little bell here. It's got a nice display, so it's got a lot going for it for a reasonable price. So yes, you can go and buy a cheaper bike online, but you can fall into a trap and get something that at the end you're going to end up hating and having to sell it for nothing to buy another bike that then you like. This is a bike that will appeal for a lot of different folks, and it can handle, like I said, many terrains. This is just a fun part for my audio fans. So if you don't want to carry on a big speaker like this and an Ian stack like a Gapster D6, the alternative to music while you're riding your bike is I've tried different things. I've tried things like regular headphones, smaller headphones, earpods and things. And I don't know about you, but for me, I don't like things that are inside my ears for too long. So what I found at the end are these. These are bone conduction headphones. Basically, they vibrate. So you put them on your ears, but not over your ears. Just they go in front of your ears, and the vibrations into your bones makes the music sound real. And they just sound kind of like normal headphones, and they keep your ears open so you can hear your surroundings. So it's much safer when you're riding a bike. And the other thing I like is I like placing my phone on the handlebar, and this phone holder works great. It's just so simple. You just slide it in and you just lock it, and that's all there is to it. And I search a lot to find gadgets like this, so I'll put a link below for the bone headphone conduction and also for the iPhone holder. The bone conduction, there I think roughly around $50, and this one, so I can't remember, somewhere around $30 or so. You might also want to consider checking the Envo website, because it has quite a few different bikes and some that I've never seen in my life. So it's a company that does cater to a whole different variety of electric bikes. They're all electric, even their snow bike. I've never seen a snow bike before. I guess this is a true Canadian company, and that's when a snow bike comes in the picture. They have electric snowmobiles, things that you don't see a lot out there. It's a testimony of a true company that's actually dedicated to innovating and designing some really cool products. But they also have some very light bikes like the stacks. There's the ST50 if you want a step-through version. They have the D35, which is a little bit lighter, and they also have some folding bikes and stuff like that. But the D50 is what attracted my side, because for me it's a bike that can do a lot without sacrificing much.
Ultimately, the choice depends on what matters most to you, and it's essential to consider these pros and cons before making your decision.
We hope this video helps you make the right choice. Don't forget to subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you again with more riding tips and audio tips. So ride safe and enjoy the music. Take care.